Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Jenks and I definitely did with our families. We hope you guys also enjoyed the special Thanksgiving episode with special guest Ty McGee, big Broncos fan. Is this team going to get a win this Sunday? We're going to see. We're here to make the Week 12 picks.
Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast, bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
Here we go.
All right, guys, getting right into the Week 12 picks. Hammer and I last week somehow lost the game back on him. I was really optimistic about the Eagles losing to the Chiefs. So that, the game started rough for the Eagles, and then the Chiefs kind of fumbled the game away. Not fumbled, but they just couldn't catch a ball for their life. Multiple receivers could not catch, and even Travis Kelce did have a fumble. So
it's the MVS effect.
Yeah,
as a Packers fan, I know.
Yeah, Packers fans know. So now I'm 5 games behind Hammer instead of 4. So
let's go.
I am officially 98-65, and Hammer is 98-66, and Hammer is 103-61. So he finally broke the 100 mark. I was one game away. So with that, we'll get right into the first game of the week. Actually, before we do that, I just want to mention all those picks. You'll see them on the screen right here. But for those that are listening and don't know who we picked for the Thanksgiving Day games, you could listen to our Thanksgiving episode or watch our Thanksgiving episode on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Just remember to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Getting right into week 1 or the game 1. Saints Falcons right off the bat. My Saints taking on the Foul Clowns, the Dirty Pigeons, whatever you want to call them, the Dirty Birds, just an awful team. I'm going to go Saints here. I'm optimistic in my team. This is kind of the one game every year or 2 games, I should say, because we play them later on. But these are the games that you got to win as a Saints player and team every single year. Dennis Allen is 2-0 last year against them, so hopefully he carries it on to make it 3-0. I'm going to go Saints.
Yeah, not only is it a big game, because of the rivalry, but this is a big game for the division. You guys are 5-5, they're 4-6. The NFC South is definitely still up for grabs. I'm going to go with the Saints too. I think they're the better team. I don't know what Arthur Smith's doing over there. Both teams coming off a bye though, so I'm expecting kind of like a low-scoring game. Maybe they come out a little slow, but I need the Saints. I'm a Saints fan this weekend because the Falcons are in that wild card playoff picture with the Packers, so need them to lose. Go Saints. Who dat?
Yeah. Oh, who dat from Hammer? Okay, there you go. I like it. Next game, you got the Steelers taking on the Bengals in Cincinnati, and it's Joe Burrow-less Steelers or Bengals at that. So I'm going to go Steelers here in this game. I think it's an interesting pick, but I think the Steelers, without Matt Cannon, have a little bit of fire under them. They're trying to really show up and have a good offense this week, so we'll see if they're able to turn it around. And if you want to hear more about our Steelers discussion, we had a little bit of that in the past episode released the other day.
Yeah, this is an interesting game. This is a tough one to pick. Cincinnati's a good team. Joe Burrow's down. You know what I mean? How do they look without him? Steelers just fire their offensive coordinator. Is that gonna let it fire under their asses, or is it gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna be pumped up, or is it not gonna change anything because that locker room is a little messy right now? So yeah. I'm excited to kind of see how they bounce back. What happens this week against a big divisional opponent too. But I'm gonna go with the Steelers too.
Yeah, and I think this is a big game to see if Kenny Pickett is the long-term answer in Pittsburgh. If he does really crappy this week, I think we might see him on his way out pretty soon. Next game, you got the Jaguars taking on the Texans in Houston, which is probably it's one of the games of the week. I'll say that. It's a great game, and it's a big game for playoff decisions later on in the season. The Jags are currently leading the division. I think if the Texans win this, they'd be tied for the division. I'm not sure they overtake.
I think they're going to be tied record-wise. Yeah. I don't know about the conference wins and all that.
So I think they'd be tied. It's a huge game for the Texans, and because of that, I'm going to go Texans on a hot streak right now. CJ Stroud's playing well. The Jaguars had a good game last week, but I'm still not a huge fan of the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is underwhelming this season, I think, and CJ Stroud's been outperforming every expectation anyone ever could have had. So I'm going to go Texans.
MVP candidate. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Texans too. this is I think Jaguars are definitely probably the favorite in this game.
Mhm.
But man, they're playing good and they're playing good for their quarterback. They love him at home. He's hot right now. Yes, he just threw 3 picks last week, but had 350
Did he
yards and
really?
two. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Three
I didn't
picks.
realize.
When no one talked about it though, because they're winning. Because if you win and you throw 3 picks, no one really cares, right? You won. But besides that, threw 3 picks, had 2 touchdowns, 350 yards. He's still playing, you know,
Phenomenal. Yeah.
above anyone expected. I'm gonna go with Houston too. They're hot, so I'm gonna go with them. And I think they're honestly right now. I think you could say maybe the more consistent team between the
I
two,
I no, I agree
right?
with that. I think they're the more well-rounded. I mean, Jaguars have a good defense, don't get me wrong, but I like the both sides of the ball on the Texans a little bit more.
Yep.
Next game, you got the Bucs taking on the Colts in Indianapolis, and this is an interesting game as well. The Colts lost Anthony Richardson multiple weeks back, and everyone kind of thought that season was lost. But then they got back Jonathan Taylor. Their defense kind of started turning around, and they're playing good football. They're a tough, gritty team, and
Five
because of
and
that,
five at 500. I think they're sitting at the ninth seed in the AFC. So like they're right there.
Mhm. Yeah, and a team like the Bucks, on the other hand, is not playing good football. They posted after they beat the Saints, they put like we own the South, and ever since that they're 1-5. So not looking good for them. And Baker Mayfield has looked all right, but their offense isn't just it's not going at the level it needs to win these games. So I'm gonna go Colts here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the Colts too. Another game that we pick right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Colts because they're the better team. They're playing better football. I got Jonathan Taylor in fantasy. He's been doing pretty good for me, and I'm a Colts fan. The Tampa, 4-6, they're in that range with Green Bay for the wild card, and you know what I mean. You never know, so I'm just hoping lose, lose, lose. So I'm gonna go Colts too.
I'm with it. Anytime the Bucks lose, I'm happy. So next game, you got the Patriots taking on the Giants and Tommy DeVito, and this is an interesting game because both teams are really trying to. I don't want to say figure out who they are, but they're trying to kind of figure out if they
I don't know what
have
the
any path.
I don't know what the Giants are right now. I don't think they
Yeah,
know what the Giants like who they are. Like I don't know. I don't know.
in the
Like
Patriots.
like like with them sticking with DeVito, like they're tanking, right? Like that's like at first that's
I
what
you
like
got
you're
to
thinking, right?
imagine,
They're
yeah.
tanking, right? Like they didn't sign it, like didn't really sign anyone. They got to be tanking, and then the kid comes out and he plays pretty well last week, and now you're kind of like, well, not. It's like, oh, maybe we got something in this kid. Let's see if he can stack, games together now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. Like, if you're a Giants fan, I mean, we have a Giants fan in this fantasy football league that Jenks and I are in, and he's like, he's just some delusional Giants fan. He's like, hey, I think we can try to make the playoffs now, or
Yeah,
like
that guy's
win
nuts.
some, put together some games. And I'm like, do you want that? Don't you want Drake May? Caleb Williams, like you know what I mean. I don't know where the Giants are right now. It's gonna be interesting to see how these last 7 weeks play out for them. But I don't know where to. I don't know where they are as an
It's an
organization. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird game, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Patriots here. I like their defense a little bit more, and I don't even know if it's Mac Jones or Zappy starting the game. Technically, I really have no clue. This is kind of just a game that's up in the air, though. I think Tommy
I bel
DeVito might throw a couple picks. I'm gonna go the Patriots.
yeah, I believe it's Mac. I think it's Mac. This is a coin toss, but I'm gonna go with the Giants. I'm gonna go with DeVito. Why not?
New
Jersey pride.
Jersey,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. You could flip a coin with this. I mean, you could. I mean, I think the Giants are the favorite right now, but I think if you really look at it, I don't know. I would kind of take Bill Belichick and that defense against Tommy DeVito, but I'll go with the Giants.
yeah. I don't mind it. Gives us a little bit of a break
Yeah, it
from
makes
picking
it
the same
interesting.
game. Then next game, you got the Panthers who just have nothing going for them versus the Titans who also right now are playing like absolute crap. So to make this quick, I'm gonna go the Titans, but y- who really cares who wins this game?
Yeah, no one cares except if you're a Titans fan or a Panther fan. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Yeah, there's just not
Period.
much else to say. Not much else to say. Next game, you got the Rams taking on the Cardinals in Arizona. And the Cardinals with Kyler Murray looked a little tough last week. Like they had some fight in them. I think every single week they've come out. There's been a few games where they don't look anything stellar, but they looked all right this past week versus the Texans. Like you said, they had 3 picks on CJ Stroud. And Kyler Murray now brings a little bit of firepower to him. So it's an interesting game, and on the Rams side, even like Matt Stafford came out. They beat the Seahawks last week, so this is a tough game. It's a tough game to pick. I think it's an underrated 4 o'clock game this week, and I'm gonna go Cardinals here. I've been picking them a few
I
times.
knew you were gonna do that.
I'm
I
gonna
knew
go
you
the
were gonna
Tweety
do that.
Birds. The Tweety Birds keep fighting.
I don't know what that means. What does
Tweety
that
Birds,
mean?
bro. They're Cardinals. They're tiny. All these other teams are like sick birds. You got birds of prey. Huge.
Falcons, Ravens,
Yeah.
Eagles.
Cardinals.
Yikes. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think the Rams are gonna win. I like the Rams with Matthew Stafford. It's like what they were the first 2-3 weeks of
Mhm.
the season. You know, now he's back healthy. Like they're like a scrappy team. You know what I mean? They're gonna hang around. Puka, kind of Cup's a little banged up.
Yeah, what is he? Did he get hurt again? What happened there? I
Yeah, he
saw
got banged up a
fantasy.
little bit. I think he's questionable. Whether he goes or not, I like the Rams here. They're the better team, better coached, and even though I'm rooting for Arizona, because once again the Rams are in that little playoff wild card, spot with Green Bay, trying to keep hope alive. So hopefully Arizona wins, but I'm gonna go with the LA Rams.
I respect it. And then a game that a few weeks ago I wouldn't have thought it was exciting. This week, now it's there's a little bit to it. You got the Browns taking on the Broncos in Denver. So at Mile High Stadium on a streak, 4-game win streak for the Broncos, taking on the Browns, who just won with a rookie quarterback Dorian Thompson Robinson. So they're looking still to be a good playoff team. That's what their hopes are, with a good, probably the best defense in the league, unless you want to say the Ravens, something like that. Myles Garrett, even right now, could possibly be put into MVP talks. That's what people are saying, is like this season offensively has been a very low scoring, kind of just down year across the NFL entirely. So people are saying, hey, this is the year an NFL or a defensive player wins MVP. And I think it's possible, but this is an interesting game for me. And Russ is on a hot streak. Cortland Sutton might get another touchdown here for you, Hammer, in fantasy. I'm gonna go Broncos here at home, having a little bit of that home field advantage, taking on a rookie quarterback.
I like it. Yeah, Broncos 5-5, just won 4 straight, playing good football at home, which is why I'm gonna go with the Browns. I think the Browns are playing just like that, right? I
Such a
think
little switch. All right.
I think the Browns are just this weird team. I mean, number one defense, but you got Nick Chubb out, you got a rookie QB. You know what I mean? But they're just finding ways to win. They're just playing tough football. They run the football. It's not fun for Amari Cooper fantasy owners like me. But they're running the football and they're playing good defense. So it's old school football. I like it. They're 7-3. I think when you look across the NFL and you look at all the records, I think that's the one that pops out to you. It's wow, the Browns are 7-3. Is Watson playing? No. Is Nick Chubb playing? No. You know what I mean? They're finding ways to win. I like it. And I think Broncos win streak ends here. And I'm going to go with the Browns. Sorry, Ty.
Yeah, Ty would be distraught if they lose this game on high
And
streak.
this is a big game for them too, right? I mean, they're 5-5. They're battling back from 1-4. And hey, this is a big playoff game. You know what I mean? Cleveland's looking to get a wild card with the Ravens winning the division. Denver's looking to get a wild card. And this is a big game because not only, it's not a division game, but it's a conference game. And these conference games matter.
I will say this. I did pick the Broncos as my 7th seed way before the season started. I know it was a little wild. It was way too early, but Broncos, get that 7th seed. Make me look good. All right. So next game, you got the Chiefs taking on the Raiders, who Raiders are, they're battling with their coach. Like they're trying to battle back for Antonio Pierce. Then on the other side, you got the Chiefs, who come off a weak loss, just a loss where they really shouldn't have lost that game if they had any receivers, any weapons at all. So it's a tough one. I'm going to go Chiefs here, but I will say this. People have talked about Patrick Mahomes not having weapons, not having this, not having that, being able to win. He has Travis Kelce. He's probably the most, easily the most, I don't know, accessible tight end you could have in a league. Like, he can do anything for you in the passing game.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't have the crazy receivers, but if you're a great quarterback, and I'm not saying he's bad quarterback, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not even saying he's not a great quarterback, but people are making excuses for him when they really don't need to, and they've been shut out for 3 straight weeks. So I just wanted to say, like, the excuses need to stop for Patrick Mahomes, and I think if it was a different quarterback, they wouldn't be making the excuses they are for him across the media.
Yeah, I agree with that. Stop making excuses. It's Patrick Mahomes. Dude's won 2 Super Bowls before he turned, 26 or something like that. You got the best coach in the league, and Andy Reid. You got the most, like Jenk said, the best tight end, the most reliable tight end by your side. You got some guys, Sky Moore, MVS, um, Rice. You know what I mean? You got some tools. Nothing special, but like, hey, that's like what, for example, I'm just going to say the Packers. That's what Rodgers had last year, right? Didn't have any big time weapon, just had a couple guys here and there, Lazard, a little Watson, Dubs, you know what I mean? Like, but the great quarterbacks, they find a way to make it work, you know what I mean? And he's got to find a way to make it work. I'm a little surprised you said it was going to be a close game. You don't really know which way to go, maybe, but I think this is a bounce back game for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs
I hope so.
I think the Chiefs like light it up because that's just what the great ones do. That's what Mahomes does. That's what Andy Reid does. They bounce back like this. I think this is a very, very winnable game for them. I think they go into play the Raiders and just kind of light them up, blow them out.
Yeah, no, I do like that you said that, like, they might bounce back. The only reason I say that I think it's gonna be a close game is because of that. They've been shut out 3 straight
Yeah, they haven't been
second
playing
halves.
good. Yeah,
Like that, like they come out in the first half and they look like they've bounced back, right? Like, they looked great. Their offense, like last week, everyone's like, "Oh, Chiefs are blowing out the Eagles right now. What's gonna happen?" But then they come out and they stink it up in the second half and they lose. So hopefully they're able to maintain it this time, since I am picking them. But I think it'll be a good game. So next game, you got the Bills taking on the Eagles, which is probably the biggest game of the week for both the Bills and the Eagles. It could be big playoff implications. So for the Bills, they would fall to 6-6 if they lose this game, and for the Eagles, right now, I believe they are still the 1 seed, and I think if they lose this game, if the Lions win, they'd be tied for first in the NFC. So this is a big game for both teams playoff wise, and I this is a tough game. The Eagles have not been playing to their full ability on offense, in my opinion. I think Jalen Hurts is playing all right, but a lot of those touchdowns have been inflated by the tush push or those first downs, everything like that. Like, they get in close situations, they're able to convert because of the tush push. But other than that, their offense hasn't looked anything crazy. I'm gonna go with the Bills here. I like the Bills coming into Lincoln Field, Lincoln Stadium, and beating the Eagles.
Upset pick, underdog pick of the week.
Yeah, I'd say underdog pick of the week for the Bills. I'm rooting for him. Rooting for him.
So I think this is gonna be a good game. Like Jenk said, Philly, they're what are they, 9-1, but they haven't been playing their best football. We know they're capable of much more. I think it's gonna be a close game. Bills, did not start off hot. They just got a big, I think, division momentum win against the
Mhm.
Jets at home, which has to make you feel good. Rasul Douglas, Packers legend, probably AFC Defense Player of the Week or something like that. Had an awesome game. And they need a win. They can't stop. They can't start, dropping games. There's 6-5. You know what I mean? It's getting close to, playoff time. You got to win the games. So this is kind of like a must win for the Bills, and it's like a good test for them. This is a Super Bowl contender. You know what I mean? Yeah, you haven't been good these past couple of weeks, but if you can win this game, I mean, the confidence that's got to give you, like, oh, this is what we can play. Like, this is Buffalo football. We can beat teams like this because we're in the same league. You know what I mean? But I think I'm going to go with Philly. I don't think Buffalo's there yet. I think they got to figure some things out. And I'm just going to go. Philly is such a tough place to play.
It is
So,
for sure.
I got to go Philly.
Good. I'm glad because it gives me a shot to come back this week. I mean,
Why is that 4 or 5 games?
it's 4 or 5. Yeah, I think so. So
So,
it'll be close after this week. Hopefully it comes back. We still have 2 more games to go, but I think we're going to agree upon both of these as they're not the best of the game. So Sunday Night Football, you got the Ravens taking on the Chargers, who right now the Chargers look like they have probably, out of all the coaches that have been fired, gotten rid of, Staley looks like he's coming up as being next.
He's next. He's on the hot seat.
And so they can't do anything, I think, until he's gone. I'm going to go the Ravens here pretty easily, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens too. I think it'll be a good battle. The Ravens defense and the Chargers offense going at it a little bit, but I'm gonna go with the Ravens. More complete team, 10 times way better coached. So I'm gonna go Baltimore.
Yeah, 100%. And then Monday Night Football, you got the Bears taking on the Purple People Eaters in Minneapolis with the
Don't say that.
Pastronaut.
Don't say that.
I know,
Don't
it's
say
just,
that.
like saying it pisses you off. Anyways, you got the Pastronaut and Josh Dobbs coming off a loss to the Broncos, where they finally were. Everyone kind of realized that Josh Dobbs is human. You know, he had a pick. He looked all right. He didn't look great, but teams are realizing that if you finally blitz a mobile quarterback and you can contain him, force him to make quick decisions, it helps. So I think the Bears might stifle him a little bit, like they did the Lions last week. But I don't see the Bears winning this game. I'm gonna go the Vikings here at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Bears stink, but I'm gonna say this one more time. I'm going to be kind of a Bears fan this weekend, hoping they can get this win on Monday night against Minnesota, because Minnesota is one of the teams above Green Bay in the playoff race. So I hope the Bears win. I don't think they will, because they stink, and Minnesota has been playing really good. You know what I mean? As of late, I know they lost a tough one against Denver, but Denver's playing really well also. So, but I think Minnesota gets a win here.
I'm rocking with it. So that'll do it for our Week 12 picks. Right on the other side of this, we're going to get into our fantasy recap of the week. So for those in our fantasy leagues, our subscribers, stay tuned for a couple more. All right, getting right into our fantasy recap of the week. You had another great week. The snowball.
Not for me.
For me, the snowball's still going, man. We're at 5 wins right now going. And like I said, 5 weeks ago, I said, hey, Hammer, snowball effect is starting.
Just say run the table. Don't say
it just starts going down the hill, just slowly, and then
it's weird.
Just boom. Sooner or later, you got like an avalanche going. So, just to do a quick recap of the week, you got Thomas Brown. Gloves didn't fit on an L. Finally, his second loss of the season, 9-2, but he is clinched, so he doesn't really care. Nicholas Lewis for Rainbow Herbert on a 3-game streak. So for those who aren't in the league, Hammer made a quick and common mistake of having.
So me and Nicholas Lewis, we played, and this game was for second place, and I made a mistake of playing Kareem Hunt instead of Gus Edwards, and Gus Edwards played Thursday night against Cincinnati. He had like 21 points, and Kareem Hunt had like 8 points. So dumb mistake, but I gotta look back at the score. I don't know if it would have affected it that much.
He had more points than all of your running backs starting combined.
Ouch, Jenks. Ouch. Thanks for making me relive that.
Yeah, so not a good week for Hammer. Anyways, Hammer on an L, just joshing with Forrest. He's on a 1-game win streak. Then you got me, big 5-game win streak, and now I believe 6-5. Hopefully making a run for the playoffs. So you just got to be top 6. So I'm close. I'm coming in close. Next, you got Breeder Broncos with Rude. 1-game win streak. Ethan Sturbis, my buddy, amateur boxers, 1-game win streak. And Wilson for on a 1-game win streak as well. But likely all those last 3 teams I named likely eliminated already. But still I got a shot. So that'll do it for the fantasy recap of the week. Other than that, I mean, I don't really think there's much to say. I hope everyone did have a happy Thanksgiving, like Cameron already said. Give something you're thankful for in the comments down below if you listen this far in. We're thankful for you guys, so I'll say that much for sure. We only got 66 of the subscribers, so we're grateful for every single one of you guys. So if you made it this far, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Jenks, closing thoughts before we go to week 12. Go for it.
I'll be at work while the Saints are playing the Falcons, so I'm likely going to be sitting there. I'm going to be sitting there just on my phone the whole day watching the Saints beat down on the Dirty Birds. So that's all I got to say. Who dat, as you said earlier.
Who dat? Who dat is right. Got to beat Atlanta. Atlanta's got the tiebreak over Green Bay because of week 2, sadly. So who dat? Who dat? Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jenks Hammer Pod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Jenks and the Hammer Podcast. If you watch on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We hope you guys have a good week, good weekend. Hope your team wins. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer Podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!